feeling? Okay, a little anxious. That is completely normal. Do you want to work together to try to make you feel a little calmer, and then we can do, some questionnaire type things? Perfect. Okay, well, first of all, just go ahead and relax your shoulders. Good, okay, I can see your face is kind of tense. Maybe you could close your eyes if you want. And then loosen your jaw, loosen your brow. Just make sure you're kind of melting into the sofa there. Perfect. Okay. Let's take a deep breath in together. Okay, one more time. Now we're going to do that again, but you're going to hold your breath after you inhale, okay? No need to do a big inhale. You're just going to hold it for a few seconds and then really exhale, okay? Let's do it together. Exhale. Good. Okay, keep doing that. I'm going to light a candle, add to the ambiance a little bit. This is lavender, mint, and ling ling. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what ling ling is, but it smells great. Do you want to smell? So good, right? So let's light this. It's a little bit loud. It's a woodwick candle. Okay, another deep breath. I take it that maybe this is your first meeting with a counselor. Okay. No, that's absolutely fine. So, do you know the difference? Here, let me blow this up. Do you know the difference between a therapist or counselor and a psychiatrist? Exactly, so psychiatrists tend to deal with diagnosis and medical treatment via medication. And the therapists and counselors, it's more of an interactive, verbal exchange, if that makes sense, where it's the classic talking it out. I'm still a professional. We're just not going to be addressing the medication side of things, okay? Perfect. A big part of this is making sure that we are a good fit. So if you feel like we are not a good fit by the end of this session, I will not be offended in the slightest. If you want to, try a few others until you find somebody you feel really comfortable with. Yes, so if you decide to stick with me, we would be meeting in this office, my office, 1 or 2 times a week. I normally recommend with new clients twice a week, though I know that's not completely possible for a large majority of working people, so 1 a week is pretty normal too. Perfect. Okay. Well, let me just input a few things into my system for my own records, and then I can get started getting to know you. Okay. Alright, so your set up. Excellent. That means every visit will be completely free. Alright. Let's see, your contact information is all filled out. Wonderful. Really quickly, your family mental health history. Can you tell me a little bit about that, if you know? Okay, your mom. Okay. Okay, and your father. Okay. So your uncle. Okay. Alright, anything else you'd like to tell me? Have you ever spoken with your primary care physician about any mental health things you wanted to address or anything like that? No? Okay. Okay. Surprisingly, your primary care physician can be a really good resource when it comes to mental health as well as physical health. Yeah, and they are capable of prescribing you medication if you wanted to go down that route. Alright. Are you feeling a little better now, by the way? Okay, okay. Perfect. We'll do a little bit more talking, and then we can try an EFT session if you'd like. It's one of my favorite methods of calming down. Perfect, okay. Is there any substance abuse history in your family or with yourself, if you feel comfortable talking about that right now? Okay. Are you on any medications for anything else? And is that information with your doctor? Okay. Do you know the dosage off the top of your head? Oh, you do? Okay, excellent. Okay. And that's once a day. Okay. That medication can sometimes have some behavioral or mental side effects. How long have you been taking that? Okay. Well, that's a good segue into the reason you're here with me today. Is it for a particular reason that you would like to address? Because a lot of people do come in here just for somebody professional and capable to help them sort through their feelings. I think everybody should have a therapist. I have a therapist, and my therapist has a therapist. Okay, so it is a specific issue though. Okay. When would you say that first started manifesting strongly enough? You started noticing it. Okay. Okay, so you would define this as the primary reason that you're seeking counseling. Okay. So this anxiety, do you feel like it manifests physically or in ways that surprised you or that you want to talk about? Of course, we're going to go into a lot more detail. This is kind of just my intake form. Okay. Any suicidal ideation? Anything like that? Okay. Do you find that you suffer from anxiety attacks or panic attacks? Yeah, they're really hard. Okay, let me make a note of that. I'm sorry to hear you're going through that. About how many times a month? Okay. Of course, like I keep saying, we're going to get more into this here in a second, but are there any life transitions or life events that could have triggered this? Okay. I understand. Alright, let me just make a note of that. Okay. And you've noted that this is your first time or your first true experience with behavioral health treatment. Okay. Well, pleasure. Okay. Last question. What would you say your goal is for your behavioral health treatment? Okay. No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Let me add that. It sounds like you've put some thought into this, which you're a pretty introspective person, would you say so? Okay. Alright. Okay. There we go. Thank you so much for your patience for that section. I know questionnaires are never that fun. We're switching over to me just taking notes in my notebook, if that's okay with you. I will be paying complete attention to whatever you're talking about. I just really love organizing what I learn about you and what you want to tell me. Having it written down just really helps me stay on top of it and just figure out the best treatment plan for you. I will admit though, I do have a few other patients, and I've embarrassingly enough gotten some names mixed up for people important in one person's life, and so let's avoid that. Isn't this a cute little journal? Let me check in again. How are you feeling? If you could place your anxiety, or that's what you said, anxiety right now, right? Okay, it's better. How would you place it on a scale of 1 to 10? A 4. Okay, we can work with that. Of course, we can do that EFT tapping technique if you'd like, or we can do that at the end of the session. Yeah, of course. Another thing I like to do is evaluate using this 1 to 10 scale how you feel at the beginning of our session. After talking about it, then how do you feel? Some people find it talking agitates them more, and some people find it helps. I think it depends on the situation, you know? Alright, so go ahead and keep trying to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Okay. So let's get started. Can you tell me about you? I know that's a little overwhelming, but let's start with, what's your job? Who are the important people in your life right now? Okay. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up here? Okay. And you moved around a lot? Okay. Your parents, are they still together? Okay. Any remarriages? Do you have any step-parents? Okay. Do you get along with them? Okay. Now you said there was no major life event that you feel like could be triggering these feelings of anxiety. Okay. Okay, so you struggle with what you think are intrusive thoughts. Tell me about that. Okay. These thoughts, do they scare you? Can you tell me? I know it's really hard to talk about them. Intrusive thoughts generally are scary. They're generally upsetting. It almost feels like your brain is working against you, trying to make you feel powerless, trying to shock you. Okay. No, they're absolutely not any kind of indication of a moral failing on your part. It's truly your brain trying to mess with you. We'll get into it. So, can you describe? Okay. Does this happen many times in a day? Alright. Yeah, that's scary. But I will tell you, I've heard many stories exactly like this. You are not abnormal. Okay? I know it might feel like that when your brain is working against you. You consider your brain to be working against you, but it's scary, but it's normal. And we're gonna work on helping. I have some techniques. Okay. Alright. And again, how long has this been going on? Okay. Okay. So you perform little checks. That sounds a lot like OCD to me, if I'm being honest with you. So you get an intrusive thought, and you have to do something to make the thought leave your head. I know it doesn't sound like classic OCD, but I think we're already learning quite a bit right now. I know it doesn't look like what many people think of OCD as, where you have to wash your hands this number of times, or you have to flick the lights on a certain number of times, or check the oven, things like that. However, it's just as valid a type of OCD. Some therapists like to call it pure O. I don't really agree with that term because it separates itself from OCD, calling it pure O, pure obsession, because you are still performing a compulsion, even if it's mental, so it's still obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here. I think we can just explore this avenue a little bit. Go ahead and keep telling me anything. Okay, so you do perform a physical compulsion. Okay, yep. Tell me more about that. Do you believe that this compulsion will... Okay, OCD questionnaire that I just want to talk about some points with you. Alright. This isn't stressing you out, right? I feel like we're making some really good progress. But if we want to slow down, take it back a step, we can just focus on calming you down and continue the get to know you section. No, you feel like we're onto something? Okay, perfect. Let me just find my checklist. There are basically three screening questions. Okay, here we go. So let's relax again. I'm going to ask you the first question. Do you experience unwanted thoughts, images, or impulses that repeatedly enter your mind despite trying to get rid of them? For example, worries about dirt, germs, or thoughts of bad things happening. Okay, so these are the obsessions. So you already said you struggle. Intrusive thoughts and obsessions are they're super similar. Okay. So that really resonates with you. The next question. Do you ever feel driven to repeat certain acts over and over? For example, repeatedly washing your hands, cleaning, checking doors, or having to repeat thoughts in order for your mind to feel better. Okay, I thought so. Let me just write something down. And you said there was a slight physical aspect to this. Okay. How many times a day? Right, okay. Do you find that this is off the questionnaire, but do you find that these intrusive thoughts and your reaction to them are amplified when you're feeling anxious or stressed? Okay, that's common. The third and final question is, does this waste significant time or cause problems in your life? For example, interfering with school, work, or seeing friends. So this helps determine the severity. I think that's really the difference between deciding if something is a disorder is, does it upset you? Does it affect your life negatively? Because our brains are very weird. Everybody's brain does weird things. It's really how much of a problem to you does this create? Okay. Like I keep saying, I think we've narrowed in on a potential treatment plan just by identifying what you could potentially be dealing with. Of course, after a few more sessions, we could be going down, the wrong path, and we could be led somewhere else. However, if the treatment plan that I provide to you and maybe some exercises that I provide today, if they resonate with you and if they help you, we can work on this moving forward. So the very first thing I want to talk to you about is one of my favorite pieces of literature regarding OCD. You're having trouble OCD label. I'm definitely not trying to force a label on you that you don't feel comfortable with, but I just want to really emphasize that a lot of people's perception of conditions and disorders and mental health can be completely different than the reality. And they're actually quite a bit more nuanced than you'd expect. And so yeah. You don't have to identify with any disorder. It just sometimes helps with accessing and finding resources, like the book that I'm going to show you. So, let's see here. This is called the Mindfulness Workbook for OCD. The Mindfulness Workbook for OCD. This is my favorite workbook. It is a guide to overcoming obsessions and compulsions using mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT. Now, this is just our initial 1 hour consultation, so we can't really dive into what CBT is. And you're going to learn, if you have more sessions with me, that I am a big advocate for mindfulness and how powerful mindfulness can be. If you're anything like me, which it sounds like you are a little, you would also enjoy having it be in a workbook style. Some people really thrive with this style. So it has questions, prompts that you can write in. I can let you take this home for this week. This is my office copy. And you can write your answers in a notebook and you can peruse the book, see if it resonates with you. If it does, I can get you your own copy. Let me read you the back. Don't let your obsessions and compulsions consume your life. If you have OCD, you might suffer from overwhelming fears and fixations that keep you from truly enjoying your life. Sometimes you may even feel like a prisoner, trapped with your intrusive thoughts and ruminations. If you've tried different treatment options with little success, don't lose hope. You might benefit from a mindfulness-based approach. So, here you go. Okay, so just checking back in with you. How are you feeling now? Where would you put your anxiety on a scale of 0 to 10? Okay, a 3, so a little better. Okay, we can definitely talk about your anxiety for a second. You'd like that? Okay, so go ahead and tell me about your symptoms there. Okay. So you do get physical. You get hives. Okay. Have you brought this up with your doctor? Okay. Well, let's take this chance to kind of see, using mindfulness, what your anxiety feels like in your body. So if you could just close your eyes for me. some adjectives describing it. It is difficult, but any adjectives that you like, anything that feels right. Maybe it's gray and it makes you feel like your brain is in a fog. It's foggy. Or static-y, like electricity. Okay. Okay. A couple more adjectives for me. Perfect. Okay. Now go ahead and open your eyes. Do you find that sitting with it and identifying it helps at all? Okay, so I'm gonna send you some of my favorite guided meditations along this concept. Can I get your email? How do you spell that? Okay, so I'm going to shoot you an email with some of my favorite anti-anxiety, mindfulness, guided meditations. Something I like to do in my office is, if you come in starting a session feeling really overstimulated, really anxious, we can start off with the meditation. Of course. Okay. Of course, if you're interested, I think we have maybe like 10 or 15 more minutes, so a little less. Okay. So, have you found that your anxiety has been higher previously in your life, or do you feel like you are at a peak right now? Okay. Okay, I understand. Perfect. Of course, let me explain the EFT tapping technique. Have you heard of it? So this is another exercise I do like doing with my patients, my clients. Though what's cool about this is that you can do it on your own, and you can even do it in public. It looks a little strange, but it can help, especially if you're feeling really anxious in public. So what you're going to want to do is, once again, try to relax as best as you can. And then you're going to come up with a statement that goes along the lines of, even though I feel, I completely and wholly accept myself. Even though I feel ashamed of this, I completely and wholly accept myself. Even though I feel anxious, even though I feel like I'm being dramatic, I completely and wholly accept myself. So create a statement like that resonates with you. And then you're going to take your hand. You can choose the fingertips, or you can choose this part of your hand, or your fingertips. I did cut my finger earlier. It's fine. Make it a little strong, firm, and then you're going to touch certain points on your head. I'll send you a link with more information about this, about why they think that tapping a little forcefully on these points of your body can calm you down. But just trust me for now. You're going to tap the top of your head, and then you're going to tap above the eyebrow, side of eye, under eye, above your lip here, your chin, your collarbone, and then your armpit. So you're following a pattern. Top stand out. So you can kind of close your eyes and do that affirmation statement, hitting the meat of your hand here with your other hand. So, again, I'll be sending you an email with all this explained a little more thoroughly. And with every session, we're going to practice what you feel like doing in the moment and maybe what I recommend. Sound good? Okay. Well, we are wrapping up. I have one last thing I want to tell you. So I mentioned that I'm very invested in the mindfulness approach to counseling and therapy, along with the compassion route, which is holding compassion for yourself. It's something I don't think anyone does enough of. So we're going to be exercising a lot of compassion, and we're going to be practicing mindfulness together. I have a fun exercise I like to do, sometimes with children, but also sometimes with people who consider themselves on the artsier side, or people who like working with their hands. The next time I see you, I think we should make a mindfulness object. Now what this is a heavy object that you hold in your hands to focus on while you practice meditating or practice mindfulness. Some people like to focus on their breath, and some people like to focus on a sensation their body is feeling, such as a heavy weight. So, we can go ahead and make one of these together. Watch this. So we can go ahead and create one of these jars. I have a ton of different colors of glitter, and you can take it home with you, and even if you don't use it religiously in your meditation practice, having it on your desk can be a good reminder to even just take a moment and practice mindfulness. Okay, this is my final check-in, just so I can get a gauge and get to know you better. Where would you say your anxiety is at this point? You can close your eyes and try to feel it to get a better idea. A 2. Okay, I'll take it. Perfect. Some people never become truly comfortable in a therapy setting, or maybe it takes years and years and years. However, work is still being done. So I just want to promise you that, okay? Okay. Well, it was great speaking to you. It was great getting to know you. I'll be in contact. You can go ahead and stop by my secretary's desk on the way out if you would like to ask her any questions about scheduling or payment or things like that. Though you have your insurance set up, so that should all go through them. So never mind on that front, but she's an excellent, Susie. She's an excellent point of contact as well. Yeah, so when I send you the email, you'll have my email. And that's where you can cancel along with Susie. Okay. Well, your only homework for this session is to peruse that OCD workbook maybe do some research online to see if it resonates with you. You could even Google pure O, though like I said, I have a bit of a problem with how they phrase that, but I think it can provide some interesting insight. What else? Your homework, because there will be a little bit, just a little bit of homework every session, is generally things like practicing mindfulness, trying to various exercises to learn to identify what emotion you're feeling, techniques for calming down, articles if you're interested in things like that, setting goals if that's something you're interested in. Like I said, we're going to build a treatment plan together. This was just the initial assessment. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for stopping by. How did you hear about me, by the way? Psychology Today. Excellent. I think that's a really understated resource. Yeah, I use the Find a Therapist Near Me. Perfect. Okay, well, it was great meeting you and talking to you, and I'm really excited to see what we can work on